I'm on Capitol Hill, and the Senate just wrapped up their last set of votes. Today's the first official day of the government shutdown, and there are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that I wanted to share with you guys. Just for context, my name is Camille. I'm a political reporter based in D.C. Number one, both Democrats and Republican lawmakers are not giving a clear answer about how long this government shutdown will last.
Well, it will last as long as we do everything we can to help 20 million Americans keep their health.
How long do you think that this government shutdown will last?
I don't know. Hopefully it's over today. But I don't know. It may have to, we'll be back again, Friday if it doesn't pass today. And then hopefully that's the day.
Number two, there's a lot of union reps right now on Capitol Hill, and they're meeting with a lot of lawmakers to talk about how much this will impact federal workers. Do you feel like these lawmakers are actually listening to your concerns?
They're listening to the concerns, but everyone is dug in. And it's a major issue, and that's why we want them to know the human element. We want them to understand what their constituents are going through on a daily basis. And the last shutdown lasted 35 days. This one, who knows how long it's going to last, and we want to remind them that there is a real cost for shutting down the government.
Number three, it seems like the whole issue around the Affordable Care Act subsidies and whether this is going to be negotiated now or later, that is still a very big point of contention among the lawmakers. And it seems like there's still no deal in sight, and that means a government shutdown is going to last longer than anyone's anticipated.
Well, I support the proposal we put forward, which is to keep the government open without giving Donald Trump a blank check to continue his lawless activities, and to focus on what Donald Trump claimed he cared about, which is bringing down prices.
So here's some news you probably missed today. On day one of the shutdown, Trump killed nearly $8 billion in clean energy projects across 16 states. California, New York, Illinois, Washington, Massachusetts. You get the picture. All blue states. All states that voted against him. This is not about a budget trimming. This is a punishment. Federal money is supposed to serve the nation, but under Trump, it's a weapon. If your state does not bow to him, your project will be vanished. Why green energy? We all know that, because it's become a symbol of the left. By killing it, Trump rallies his base, feeds the culture war, and tells fossil fuel donors, oil, gas, coal, it's all cool. Every delay means more profit for them, and more loyalty for him. Here's the bigger picture. Clean energy is not just about climate. It's about economic power. It's about who leads the next wave of innovation. Europe is moving forward. Asia is moving forward. America stuck in the fossil fuel past, 20th century. That's not leadership, that's decline. And don't miss the dangerous person here. If federal money only goes to a state that shows loyalty, then what left of the shared nation? Today is the blue state. Tomorrow, anyone who step out of the line. And let's stop pretending this is about wind turbines or solar panels. This is about revenge. It's about turning the federal government into a personal weapon. And while Washington plays the house of cards, the rest of the world is moving forward. I have a full breakdown on Substack and link in bio, or you can visit grumpychineseguy.com. Take care.
Well, here we are yet again, another government shutdown. This time we have to remember that we don't have split control of houses of Congress here. No, the Republicans control the House of Representatives, and they control the Senate, and they control the presidency, and are still managing to shut down the government again. Think about that. But here's why this matters to our country, specifically to my state of Kentucky, okay? Because for many people, life goes on, business as usual, but there are a lot of people here in Kentucky, around the country, friends, neighbors, who are affected by these impacts when these politicians in Washington decide to, go on vacation like the House Republicans just did while not doing their job. And just for the record, I think no member of Congress should get paid during a government shutdown, period. Okay? But let's review why this matters. We have here in Kentucky 23,000 federal employees. Thousands of workers here in Kentucky and around the country will be furloughed right now. That means that they will be placed on leave without pay, and lots of the services that our fellow Americans need and earned will be affected. This administration that seems so eager to shut down the government has ordered agencies to prepare for permanent job losses in Kentucky and around the country because of this. These mass firings of federal workers are disgraceful. 13,000 air traffic controllers are still going to be working, but without pay. TSA agents, customs officers, they're all going to be working without pay. Paychecks will stop immediately for our military. Here in Kentucky, we have close to 7,000 soldiers at Fort Knox, about 30,000 at Fort Campbell, thousands more DoD civilians and employees. Who else does this shutdown affect? How about needy children? Yes, more than 120,000 Kentuckians rely on food assistance, and that will be interrupted during this time. How about veterans? Yes, veterans making claims for their benefits and call centers to schedule appointments and inquire about our benefits. That'll be scaled back or shut down completely. How about national parks, national historic parks, historic monuments, recreation areas? Maybe you weren't planning on taking a trip to Mammoth Cave this October, but those communities here in Kentucky and around the country who depend on tourism, they're really going to take a hit here. What else? Here in Kentucky, we have over 3,000 Department of Agriculture employees, for example. The Farm Service Agency, they're going to be slowing the Farm Bill programs. This is another whammy to farmers that are already getting schwacked by tariffs. Rural development programs are going to be delayed. Government oversight in inspecting meat and chicken and eggs, that's all at risk. I don't know about you, but I kind of like knowing that the meat that I'm buying in the grocery store isn't infected. So here's the bottom line. This government shutdown stuff is super harmful to so many Americans. The fact that these so-called leaders that we have in Congress can't do their one main job ought to make us all mad. We need better leaders.
Right now, if you go on the USDA.gov website, it reads this message. Due to the radical left Democrat, what is that? Radical left Democrat shutdown. This government website will not be updated during the funding lapse. President Trump has made it clear he wants to keep the government open and support those who feed, fuel, and clothe the American people. Here's my issue. I feel like there's only a subset of American people that are informed enough to look at this kind of message, think critically about it, and realize, holy shit, the framing is off and the wording is incendiary. Here's the thing. The reason why the government shutdown happened is because, and I'm summarizing this post from Elizabeth Booker Houston, the Democrats don't want to support another healthcare funding slash. We already had a huge one with the big beautiful bill earlier this year, July 4th, and now this one. So the framing of this message that's on an actual government website, the whole world, everyone can see this, is that it's purposefully casting the Democrats in a bad light in order, I'm sure, to fuel the culture wars, fan the flames of this hyper-partisanship that feeds into these culture wars, and to cause people to think, oh, the Democrats, as opposed to, oh, the 1%. Like, they are trying so hard to push a culture war when the serious thing right now is actually a class issue. Go look at any of these online political commentators. Walter Masterson is a great one. Yesterday, he put out a video talking about how the goal is to start a culture war. Fortunately, on my feed, on my algorithm, it's looking like some Americans are becoming informed enough to know that it's more of an issue of up versus down rather than left versus right. However, that's my algorithm. Nothing showed me how big of an echo chamber I was in until the 2024 election. Holy shit. So I don't know what it looks like outside my algorithm. Everyone's feeds are so customized that we're all hyper siloed, so my perception may not be yours. However, everyone's perception is the same with this note. And it is insane that a president of the United States, who is supposed to be the president of all the people, both parties, is participating in fanning the flames of this culture war that they're trying to start. Obviously, this is par for the course with someone who fanned the flames of January 6th, so this is to be expected. However, it doesn't change the fact that this is terrifying and that we all need to remain hyper-conscious going into 2026 and honestly the next 3 years. That the issue is not left versus right. The actual issue is up versus down. By the way, Ari Aster's film Eddington tried to highlight the issue of this hyper-partisanship culture shit, but the movie was incorrectly received by the left and by the right. Everyone take a look at Ari Aster's Eddington. It came out this past June or July, and I personally believe that it is required viewing for all Americans. And don't watch it from a liberal lens or from a Republican lens. Watch it from the neutral lens of a citizen who is basically living through the events of everything happening in that movie. It's a one-to-one comparison of the culture wars going on now. Watch the movie and look at who wins in the end. And I'm not talking about Joaquin Phoenix's character. I'm talking about the data center. Anyway, little tangent. I don't have to tell you that this message isn't normal, but if you know anyone who is uninformed or prefers to be uninformed for peace of mind, who could be swayed by messages like this, be sure to remind them the fight is not left versus right, it is up versus down. And this kind of message is not a sign of a healthy democracy.
Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the government down because they don't want to provide health care to working class Americans.
All right, let's break this down. First off, Donald Trump and the Republicans did not shut down the government. The clean continuing resolution passed in the House. Donald Trump is ready to sign it. Democrats are using the filibuster in the Senate to stop this from happening. The filibuster essentially means that senators can end debate on a topic indefinitely. And in order to break past the filibuster, you need to have 60 votes in the Senate. So Democrats are quite literally causing a shutdown because they want more spending on healthcare. But again, a clean continuing resolution is already passed in the House. Democrats are blocking it in the Senate. When I say clean, it essentially just means that they're going to continue to fund the government at its current levels just to keep the lights on. No policy change is not adding anything, just keeping it clean to keep people paid and keep the government operating. Democrats are saying no to that, and they're trying to use that as leverage to get policy changes because Congress controls the purse. So they're using this continuing resolution as leverage to get what they want. They're trying to jam their policies into a resolution to keep the government running. But now that I've said that, let's go back to what Hakeem Jeffries said again. I addressed the first part. Democrats have essentially stuck a piece of metal in the gears that were turning and are now blaming the gears. But let's get to the second half of what he said.
Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the government down because they don't want to provide health care to working class Americans.
That's a lie. We already addressed how they didn't shut the government down. Second off, he does want health care for working class Americans. They're talking about the cuts over the next 10 years that are happening with Medicaid. Now, mind you, around 90% of people are still expected to be covered. Do you know who the number one target of these cuts are? Able-bodied adults aged 19 through 64 without disabilities, dependents, or other exemptions. They are increasing work requirements for these individuals in order for them to qualify. If you don't have disabilities, children, or any other exemptions, why shouldn't you be working at least 20 to 30 hours a week to contribute to our society? You're just supposed to be able to sit back, not do anything, and then reap the rewards from other people's work? So no, Donald Trump very much wants working class people to be insured. He doesn't want people mooching off the system, and I don't blame him. Also, of our federal budget, about 13% of it goes to just interest on debt. Just for context, Medicare is 14% of our budget. So 13% of our budget is going to interest payments, and that rate is accelerating. So the government has to do something to get this interest under control. If they don't get interest payments under control, our government will spend more and more money on interest payments, and we won't have money for all these entitlement programs or our defense. So the government has to figure out a way to take on less debt and having more money to take on interest payments. The money has to come from somewhere. They're looking after the financial health of our nation. Don't forget about my Substack. It's a free email newsletter. I give you morning updates here and things like this in more detail. The link is in my profile. Just go there, drop your email in, you'll be good to go.
What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. That is what has actually happened.
No, this is not what is happening. Nowhere in the Democrat version of the bill are they requesting illegal immigrants have health care. Nowhere. Here's what I'll do. If you can show me anywhere in the bill where Democrats are asking for illegal aliens to have health care, I will give you $10,000.
I genuinely don't know how much longer we're going to take this and not see that both of these parties are in it together. You guys, as somebody who voted for this administration, I'm never voting again. It's all a sham. But as somebody who took part in voting for this administration, I know that the goal was to cut the fat and to get back to basics. And you guys, as they're standing up there blaming an entire party who doesn't have control for this shutdown, they are reaching their goals and meeting their agenda at the same time while they're getting to offload the blame. And then the Democrats are just blaming the Republicans right back. All the while, Mike Johnson literally told the House Republicans to not show up for work and to let the government shut down. Now you have Vice President J.D. Vance saying that, oh, well, if it continues to linger, then we're going to have to do some layoffs. Like, that wasn't the whole point in the beginning. And I just don't know how much longer we're going to take that they are working against us while they're going to collect a paycheck. The military is not going to collect a paycheck, and they really want you to know that, all the while they're deploying these National Guard troops all throughout the country, authorizing full force against the citizens. And it's just like they want it to collapse and nobody can see it. Everybody's still taking the talking points and blaming the left and blaming the right, and it's exhausting. It's infuriating, and I don't know how much longer you guys are going to take it. I can't bear it anymore. I just don't know how much longer it's going to go on. Take care of your neighbor, you guys, and take care of your own, because no one else is going to take care of you. God bless America.
America's so damn ghetto. The government has shut down, and I'm so mad at the people because we go through like 12 Boston Tea Parties a day at this point. They just keep raising the price, and we ain't did nothing. We just argue all day because you know that little method, divide and conquer, is very powerful. It works. It's left, right, black, white, gay, trans. We arguing about everything now. We used to just try to find the race of a mass shooter. Now we got to figure out his political affiliation. Now we got to figure this out, and now the government shut down. So coincidentally, As the Jeffrey Epstein list needed one more signature. It just needed one more, then the government shut down. What the hell going on? But you mean to tell me Congress shut the government down? Congress still gonna get a check. I still gotta pay taxes with the rest of y'all. There are essential federal workers that still gotta go to work. So you mean Congress on vacation while they got slaves at the damn airport? Because that's what it is. They are working for free now, okay? So you got a little slave for a full month. Because if I was in Congress, I'm gonna keep the slavery going for a little bit, you know, because I gotta get to Dubai. I shut the government down and I ain't gotta go to work. You know how happy you would be if you worked at Starbucks and then you looked on the news and your Starbucks that you work at blew up. Oh, you'll be so happy. You'll be, the Starbucks blew up. Hey, somebody done died, but you ain't gonna give a damn right there and then.
I'm glad you've watched to this extent, and allow me to give my 2 cents on this. I love America. I have to say it again. I love America, and I believe they have a dream. And I just want to communicate my dream for the American people. My American dream is to see an America where divisive political views will be put behind and the nation would focus on matters that concern the well-being of everyone. That's my American dream. I'm dreaming of an America where what is good for all will be the priority of everyone, and everyone will feel if my neighbor isn't comfortable, then I have a part to play. I should speak out. That's the only dream that I have for America, because I believe in this nation. A nation that has been able to accommodate people from different corners of the world and have been able to build a name, a life for themselves, should not end as it is kind of heading, you know. Yeah, it saddens me, and I pray, and this is the time that I want to call for those who pray. This is, government has shut down, but God hasn't shut down. So it is time to pray for this nation so that the direction that this country will head in won't be, anyway, much more worse. I guess so. I believe so. That's my take. Like the video for recommendations, subscribe if you're new here, share your thoughts in the comment section, and see you in the next video.